Welcome, my name is Sue from Cordery Yoga, and thank you so much for spending this short time with me. So today I'd like to talk to you about cramp, and I'm sure most of you at some time or other when you've been practicing yoga or any other exercise suddenly had that awful feeling of cramp, usually in the backs of your calves, very often during yoga, through your feet, through the arch of your foot, or through your toes. So today, I'm going to try and do a small series of poses that I hope will help to alleviate what can be quite a crippling pain at times. But obviously cramp has many reasons why you get cramp, one of which is dehydration. So please try and drink as much as you possibly can. Another thing that can help is magnesium supplements. But sometimes these do upset some people's tummies, so they may not be suitable for you. Another option is bananas. They're very good and a quick and easy solution. And another one that not many people tend to know about is coconut water. That can also help alleviate cramp. But we'll go ahead today anyway with a few stretches for you. And obviously, if you can do these on a regular basis, fingers crossed, they'll help. Okay, so if you'd like to bring yourself down to a comfortable lying position, you don't necessarily have to have a yoga mat. It can be wherever is best for you, maybe alongside your bed, alongside your sofa, just somewhere where you can spend a few minutes doing some stretching, and that's what we're going to do today. So wherever you are, come to a lying position. So if you're coming into a lying position from sitting, then obviously do it carefully. Take the hands behind the thighs and just roll down gently, or put your elbows on the mat and come down to a comfortable lying position. Relax those shoulders. Just relax, let everything go. Then breathe in, and as you exhale, take your right leg up to the ceiling and flex the foot. And already you're going to feel a stretch up through the back of your leg, through your hamstring, through your calf. And then point. And this time you'll feel the stretch probably through your shin, maybe even through your thigh, depending how tight you are. So we're going to do that for 10 times. So just going to flex and point. So that's 2, 3, and feel the stretch when you're doing it. Don't just move it from one position to the other. Actually feel the stretch before you move the foot into the other position. So because I've been talking to you, I've lost count. So there's probably, we'll say 9, 10. Okay, and then from here, you're actually going to rotate your ankle now. So 5 times one way, again slowly, actually feel it within the foot. Don't just do it, just feel within the foot. It might even be nice to close your eyes so that you can actually feel what's happening. And then reverse, going the other way. And back to your foot flexed. Then take a breath, and as you exhale, bring that leg back down. Sole of the foot on the mat as you take the other leg up. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. So that's 4 so far. You might feel different on one side to the other, and that's quite normal. We're none of us symmetrical, however we like to think we are. We're going to be different on both sides. So again, I'm really good at chatting, absolutely rubbish at counting. So I think that's about 10. And hopefully you've felt that in both the back of your leg and the front of your leg. As you start to rotate your ankle again for 5 times one way. And 5 times the other way, as slowly as you can. No rush, no hurry. Take a breath and bring that leg down. So the next stretch I've got for you involves you having to have a yoga strap or a yoga belt. as we call it. Now, if you don't happen to have a yoga strap or a yoga belt, you can use a dressing gown cord. You can use a belt. You can use a tie. You could use a towel, or you could wrap a sock around there. As long as you can catch hold of it while keeping that leg relatively straight. Now, some of you are going to have really tight hamstrings or tight calves, so to actually have the leg straight is just not going to be achievable for you today. But the more you do this, then hopefully the better able you will be to stretch your muscles. So if you start with a bent knee to begin with, that's absolutely fine, and then work towards creating a straighter leg. Okay, so again, you're lying. You're going to place this belt around the ball of your foot, not the arch, the ball of your foot, and then take that leg up. So you're, as I say, you're working towards a straight leg, but if you're bent here, don't worry. Everything comes with time, patience, and practice. Okay, so you're up here, and you're going to push that foot into that belt. So you're holding on to the belt or the dressing gown cord or the tie. Your elbows are on the floor, and you're pushing that foot into whatever you are using. So again, you should feel a stretch at the back of the leg. And just hold it for a count of 30. Your count of 30 will be absolutely fine. You're then going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to swap that belt into both ends, or the dressing gown cord, into the right hand. You're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, you're going to begin to open that leg. Now, what tends to happen here is people tend to roll because they think they've got to get that leg as far as possible. What you need to do is you need to put your other hand on your hip, so left hand on your hip, and really press it down hard so that you make that glute make contact with the mat. Then you breathe in, and as you exhale, you start to open. The minute you find that you start to roll, that's as far as you need to go. You need to squeeze the glute, in that left glute, to stop yourself from rolling, and hold there so you get that inner thigh stretch. And again, as time progresses, you will find that you can come further and further without actually rolling. So remember, the minute you roll, then you've gone too far. Just come back up slightly until you're no longer rolling. You're squeezing that glute, making that glute work on the other side. Again, hold for about 30, then take a breath, and as you exhale, come all the way up. Switch the belt over into the left hand. The right arm comes out alongside. You're going to take a breath, and as you exhale, you're going to come all the way over. This time you can roll. You can roll and bring that foot down as close as you can. Currently, I've got a window there, so I haven't gone very far. But you may be able to go a bit further. Again, with time, you'll go further and further. Again, hold for about 30. Then breathe in, and as you exhale, slowly up you come. So I'm going to change position just so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'll just give you a moment to settle yourself. So we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So remember, this belt goes around the ball of your foot, not the arch of your foot, and send it up to the ceiling. So nice straight leg is what we're looking for, but if you're here, doesn't matter, that's absolutely fine. As long as you're feeling a stretch either in your hamstring or your calf, that's fine. And gradually in time, you can begin to lengthen that leg. So whatever you're holding, be it a cord, a belt, a tie, or a yoga belt, then hold on tight, elbows down, and push that foot into the belt for a count of about 30. As long as you feel that stretch in the back of your legs. Then switch both ends of the belt into your left hand. Right arm comes out alongside you. You're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, remember, you don't roll. So push into the sole of the foot on the other side. Squeeze that glute. The minute you start to roll is when you stop. Another little trick to stop you from rolling is the opposite foot So the right foot, you've got the knee bent. What you can do is you can roll onto the outside of that foot as you open, and that also helps to stop you from rolling, and that creates a lovely inner thigh stretch on both sides. So that might also be something that you can try to stop you from rolling. So again, for about a count of 30, then use your breath, your exhales come all the way up, switch it over, both ends of the belt into the right hand now, left arm out in line with the shoulder, and over you come. So you should feel that down what we call your IT band and into your glute. And again, hold for about 30. And this time, as I said on the other side, you can roll absolutely fine. Breathe in, and as you exhale up, you come. Release that belt, take the foot back 10, and just put that belt to one side. Okay, you're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, roll yourself up. So hands can come behind the thighs to roll yourself up. So I'll turn around again for the camera. So we're going to come into a forward fold. Again, this is going to stretch through your hamstrings and your calves. So if you're tight, bend those knees slightly. Or use your trusty belt or cord. So if you're going to use the belt or cord, again, bend the balls of your feet and hold on to it. So I'll try with the belt first of all to give those of you that have got tight hamstrings and calves the option. You're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, pull your belly button in, up and back towards your spine to make space in your abdomen. This will allow you to come forward. And gradually over time, try and slide those heels away until you can come with straight legs, and hopefully just hold on over your toes. As long as you're getting this stretch in the backs of the legs, you're working towards getting the backs of your knees on the mat. All takes time, so don't worry if that's not where you are today. And today I'm just asking you to round your spine. I'm not asking you to stretch through the spine, I'm just asking you to round your spine. That way you'll get a stretch in your lower back here if you round your spine. And again, hold for about a count of 30. If you do exactly the same the whole time, holding things for 30, then you get used to that. Okay, release and slowly up you come. And then just give those legs a little bit of a loving massage. All the way up and down through those tight areas that you've just felt as you've done those first few stretches. Remember to do both legs. So just give them a little bit of loving kindness. And then we're going to come up to standing. So swivel those legs around, push through and come up to standing. So here you need a wall or perhaps a door, and you're just going to place your hands on the wall or door. They're in line with your shoulders. Walk yourself away. See if you can come with a relatively straight back. So drop the head between the arms so you've got a relatively straight back. You're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, you're going to come up on the toes and push through. Now, if you're not getting a stretch there, then walk those legs a little bit further back up until you get that stretch. So push through the heel, and that's when you'll get the stretch. As if you're walking. So for me, I've got to go back a little bit more. It's not quite enough for me. But for you, you might be closer to the wall. So it's just a standing calf stretch. Just gently moving. Coming up on the toes, and then returning the heel back down. So that's an easy option for any of you to do. So if you'd like to go a little bit further with this one, walk into the wall to release yourself safely. We're going to come into what's called a down dog and walk the dog. So that's going to be an inverted V. And we're going to walk the dog, which is very similar to what you've just done against the wall, but it's just a bit more of a stretch through your legs. So if walking the dog, as we call it, is too much for you today, but it's something that you can work towards then keep yourself at the wall and walk using the wall. Otherwise, if you'd like to come with me, you can start off in a tabletop. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. You're going to tuck your toes, lift your knees, take your chest towards your thighs as you guide your heels down towards the mat. Now, don't worry if those heels don't touch the mat. I've been practicing yoga for over 30 years, and only occasionally do my heels actually touch the mat. So in the main, most of us, they don't. So your feet are hip distance apart. You're working your chest towards your thighs to get a nice stretch through your arms and your shoulders. And then you walk the dog. So you come up on the toes of the right foot and push the heel down of the left and hold for a count of 2. And then release. And again, push through that heel and hold for a count of 2. So again, you can walk the dog for as long as you wish, but try and do a minimum of 5 each side, especially if you're maybe short of time. Lost my words there. You know, just try and do 5. But if you're not so short of time, then try and do a few more. And then push both heels away. And breathe. Breathe in, and as you exhale, come up onto the toes and drop the knees. Because if you're not a regular yoga practitioner, going up into down dog can be quite a challenging pose for the first time. But as with everything, doesn't matter what exercise you do, the more often you do it, the better you become at it. So I'm hoping that, you know, if you do suffer from cramp, you're going to go through this little exercise at least a couple of times a week in the hope that, fingers crossed, it will help. So our next pose is called pyramid. So again, push yourself up into your down dog, walk your feet towards your hands, hands to feet, and roll yourself up safely. So if I was doing a yoga practice, I'd probably come into this pose through a 3-legged down dog and swing my leg through. But I'm doing this for people that are beginners, so hopefully this will be an easier option for you. So you've rolled yourself up safely. You take your right leg forward. That foot's at 90 degrees. Your back foot is about 2 foot away and it's at 45 degrees. And it's almost like you could run a train through your legs. So maybe even move that back foot over towards the outside edge of your mat to give you a little bit more room. So you can do this with a bent knee or a straight leg. I would suggest if you're a beginner, then you have a bent knee to begin with. So when you bend your knee, this is what tends to happen with people, the knee travels past their ankle. So you need to try and keep that knee in line with your ankle. So if that means stepping that back foot back slightly, then that's what it means, okay? But you don't want very much of a gap in between here. Hands on hips. You're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, you're going to come forward with a nice straight back, just as you did when you were up against the wall. You're then going to breathe in, and as you exhale, you're going to drop your hands now either to the mat, or if you've got what we call a yoga brick or a book there, then you can pop that here and press your hands into that. That will help. At different heights, obviously, depending on your flexibility. Or you can be up on your fingertips here. You can hold onto your shin or your thigh, wherever your flexibility is, and you're pushing into that back heel to get this lovely stretch up through the back of your leg. You're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, you are aiming to get your knee as close to your nose as you can while pushing into that back foot. And again, just hold it for a count of 30. Breathe whilst you're doing it and breathe into that stretch. Then breathe in, and as you exhale, look towards the top of the mat. Move the hands wider, step up to the top of the mat, and then step the other leg back Remember that back foot needs to be 45 degrees, bend into the front knee, or straight leg if you are happy to do that. Just be careful. So you're quite near to your nose to knee there when you're here. So you might find that you can actually bring that nose in. But again, use your props if you need to until you get the flexibility and the stretch in your legs. Here is absolutely fine with a straight back. Just push into that back heel. And again, step up to the top of the mat and just fold. Hold on to opposite elbows and just rock from side to side. Keep trying to push through those heels. It continues to give you a stretch up through your calves and your hamstrings. Just gently rock from side to side. Then release, bend the knees, come up onto the toes, and as gracefully as you can, come down to sitting. So the last pose is what we call Viparita Karani, and really just translated nicely is legs up the wall. This is a beautiful pose, especially lovely to do just before you go to sleep at night, but a good pose at any time of the day. It reverses the blood flow and it will be really exceptionally good if you do suffer from cramp. So the way to get into it is you bring yourself as close to the wall as possible. So for me, I've got my left hip right up against the skirting board here, and you're going to swivel to bring the legs up the wall. Now that will probably mean that you've now got a gap between your buttocks and the wall. So just try and shimmy yourself in. It can take a little bit of practice till you'll touch it in the wall. Flex the feet. Arms just alongside you, palms up to the ceiling to release your shoulders. And you can hold there for as long as you wish. Absolutely lovely pose, especially for the end of the day, especially if you're somebody that's on their feet for most of the day. Really good. Good for swollen ankles as well. Just reversing that blood flow. Just for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go into the very, very last pose now, just to give you an option here. Okay, so you breathe in, and as you exhale, you slide the feet down the wall. Soles of the feet are together. You're then going to breathe in, and as you exhale, it's as if you pull into your bottom, as if you're going to stop yourself spending a penny, and you hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull in and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can continue to do that again for as long as you wish. Or if you prefer, just stay with the legs up the wall. Okay, and if you want to come out, you just slide down, roll over onto the right hand side. Gently push yourself up with the left hand and bring yourself up. And there you are, you're all done. Okay, so just a short little practice that I'm hoping will help those of you that do suffer from cramp, or maybe help to alleviate that pain for you. Good luck. Thank you for being with me today, and look out, I'll maybe do another one for cramp as well. Okay, bye for now.